What do you want in life? Fame? Power? Money? Beauty? There are few who check off more of those boxes than Johnny Depp. Hi, my name is John Beeson, and this is the Beehive. Thanks for joining us. Johnny Depp's one of the most recognizable people on the planet, and he's one of only 4 men to twice be named the sexiest man alive. His net worth peaked at over $800 million. Who wouldn't want to be Johnny Depp? And yet, all it takes is a quick scroll through the web to see that this man's life inspires more pity than envy. A few years ago, Johnny Depp's ex-wife, Amber Heard, accused Depp of domestic abuse. Depp fought back with a lawsuit charging Heard with abuse. Whatever the truth of who initiated the violence, one can't help but be sad for Heard and Depp. Physical endangerment, drug and alcohol abuse, and violent, vulgar words marked their toxic and tumultuous relationship. It's also been reported that Depp managed to blow through $650 million of his $800 million plus net worth. One can't help but scratch their heads and wonder how spending that kind of money in a decade is even possible. One gets a sense that Depp has become the living version of his big screen caricature, intoxicated and unmoored. Who would want to be Johnny Depp? My daughter is a senior in college. Her days are peppered with questions about her future. What are your plans? Where are you going? What are you going to do next? Setting one's sight even slightly off course can result in significant error down the path. Air navigation experts refer to this 1 in 60 rule, which means that for every degree a plane veers off course initially, it will miss its target destination by 1 mile for every 60 miles flown. The results can be fatal. In 1979, a passenger jet with 257 tourists departed New Zealand for a round-trip sightseeing flight to Antarctica. Now, unbeknownst to the pilot, there was a 2-degree error in the flight coordinates. As the pilots approached Antarctica, the aircraft was 28 miles further east than where the pilots believed they were. The plane descended to a lower altitude to give the tourists a better look of the foreign terrain. Making their maiden voyage to Antarctica, the pilots weren't aware that they were headed straight toward Mount Erebus, a 12,000-foot tall volcano. The plane slammed into the side of the volcano, killing all 257 on board. How do we make big life decisions? What factors do we throw on the positive and negative sides of the ledgers as we determine what job to take or college to attend? When speaking of God's will, the Bible directs us to consider elements that frustrate the way that we think about decision making. Is this a decision that promotes justice and mercy? Is this a decision that will help the fruit of the Spirit to flourish in my life and others' lives? How does this decision build up the body of Christ? Is this decision reflective of Christ's wisdom? My daughter and her friends are asking themselves whether they should jump into the workforce, travel, or continue their education. And those are important questions, but they are dwarfed by the decisions they will make regarding what church they will attend, how they will serve and participate in that community, what friends they will invest in, what spiritual, emotional, and intellectual habits they will establish. A small compromise here for the sake of a little more money, a justification there for a little more popularity, a concession here for that romantic interest. Degree by degree we drift. Our only hope is a heart set on the destination of Christ, with daily dependence on the Spirit of God. Solomon begins the book of Proverbs by urging the hearer to seek after wisdom by the way of wisdom, to know wisdom and instruction, to know words of insight, to receive instruction and wise dealing in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the ones who understand obtain guidance. To understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and the riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Solomon was Johnny Depp long before Johnny Depp was Johnny Depp. Sitting on the other side of the devastation of a heart pulled off course degree by the power of romance, money, and fame, Solomon urges the reader to heed his warning. Check your bearings. Solomon pleads with us. In the end, only the author of wisdom will satisfy. He is the only destination worth pursuing, and his path is the only path that will spare us the destruction of the world. Almost 1,000 years after Solomon, Wisdom himself came and warned about just how narrow that path is. Enter by the narrow gate, Jesus said. For the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. The way may be narrow, but it is the only path that will satisfy. The good news is that it is never too late to take wisdom's path.